What if the greatest unfair advantage wasn't money, connections, or IQ, but the relentless habit of learning something new every single day? This audiobook unlocks the exact mindset and daily system the top 1% use to stay ahead, no matter the industry, no matter the challenge. It's not about working harder, it's about learning smarter. Master this, and you won't just catch up, you'll leap ahead. Because in today's world, the fast learners rule the future, and the future belongs to those who never stop growing. Introduction: The Power of Self-Education. Welcome to Educate Yourself Every Day and Stay Ahead of 99% people. You didn't stumble on this audiobook by accident. Something inside you, an inner spark, a desire to grow, to evolve, to become more, led you here. That's not just admirable, that's rare. And that's exactly the kind of mindset this audiobook is built for. We live in a world overflowing with distractions. Notifications, entertainment, endless scrolling, and shallow conversations are the daily diet of the masses. But in this chaos, there's a small group of people who choose a different path. People like you. People who know that the way to an extraordinary life is not luck or talent, it's self-education. Why this audiobook matters. Right now more than ever, the gap between those who learn and those who coast through life is growing rapidly. The world is moving fast. Technology evolves in real time. Skills that were valuable yesterday are outdated today. And those who don't take learning into their own hands risk being left behind, financially, mentally, and spiritually. But here's the truth most people ignore. You don't need to go back to school, enroll in expensive programs, or wait for permission to grow. The tools, knowledge, and resources you need to thrive are already within reach. The only requirement, the willingness to educate yourself every single day. This audiobook is your roadmap, not to impress others, not to chase fake success, but to build a mind so sharp, a spirit so disciplined, and a vision so clear that you become unstoppable in the pursuit of your potential. Because here's the reality. Most people stop learning the moment they leave the classroom. But the top 1%, they never stop. They read, they listen, they question, they reflect, they study, not because they have to, but because they choose to. Because they understand that education is not a phase, it's a way of life. Self-education is your personal revolution. It's how you rise above excuses. It's how you break free from mediocrity. It's how you design a life of meaning, purpose, and impact. And guess what? It starts today, with this book in your hands, in your ears, in your heart. How daily learning creates a personal revolution. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you learned something that changed how you think? Something that shifted your entire perspective? Something that made you go, how did I not know this before? Those moments, those aha breakthroughs, aren't random. They are the result of intentional exposure to new ideas. And when you make that a daily habit, your life transforms. Because here's what no one tells you. Learning rewires your brain. Every page you read, every podcast you absorb, every new concept you explore, it builds new neural pathways. It expands your awareness. It strengthens your decision-making. It sharpens your thinking. It equips you to handle life's challenges with more clarity, more confidence, and more control. Learning is not just about information, it's about identity. When you learn daily, you begin to see yourself differently. You stop saying, I'm not good at that, and start asking, how can I get better? You go from a passive consumer of life to an active creator of your future. It's not about knowing everything. It's about becoming someone who's always growing. And make no mistake, this isn't about speed, it's about direction. Learning a little every day compounds. And just like money in a high-interest account, the gains might seem small at first. But over time, they explode. 1 year of daily growth can make you unrecognizable in the best way possible. So if you feel stuck, lost, behind, or overwhelmed, you're not broken. You're just underexposed. The answers you're looking for about your purpose, your confidence, your success are already out there. And with daily learning, you'll start finding them one idea at a time, one breakthrough at a time, one day at a time, what to expect and how to use this book. This audiobook is not a lecture, it's a conversation, a mentor in your pocket, a daily dose of clarity, discipline, and inspiration. It's broken into 15 high-impact chapters, each designed to spark action and give you tools you can use immediately. Here's what you'll find inside. How to develop an unshakable learning habit. The best books, podcasts, and tools to elevate your mind. How to stay focused in a distracted world. The secrets of how successful people learn. Practical strategies to retain, apply, and grow from what you learn. How to create a personalized roadmap for your self-education journey. Each chapter is crafted with one goal in mind: to make you grow. Not just passively, but actively. That means you'll hear actionable steps, real-life examples, and powerful mindset shifts throughout. This audiobook isn't meant to be consumed once and forgotten. It's a guide you'll want to return to again and again. You might listen to one chapter while walking, another while journaling, and another during a quiet morning before your day begins. However you use it, just promise yourself one thing: don't. Just listen, learn, and don't just learn, apply, because this book is about movement, momentum, mastery, and most of all, about becoming the kind of person who refuses to settle. You won't need to take massive leaps. You just need to commit to one thing: educating yourself every single day, whether it's 5 minutes or 50, a few pages or a full podcast, a quote that inspires or a book that changes everything. Just keep showing up. And before you know it, you'll be ahead of 99% of people. Not because you're better, but because you're more consistent, more curious, more committed. So take a deep breath. This is your moment, your turning point. Let this audiobook be your reminder that you don't need permission to grow. You don't need approval to evolve. You don't need anyone to open doors for you, because you're building your own. This is your time, and it all starts right now. Chapter 1. The Power of Continuous Learning. Imagine waking up every morning with a sharper mind, a stronger sense of purpose, and a growing confidence that no matter what life throws at you, you can handle it. That's the power of continuous learning. It's not about cramming facts or being the smartest person in the room. It's about staying open, curious, and alive to growth. Let's get one thing straight. Learning didn't stop when you left school. That was just the beginning. Real education, the kind that transforms your life, starts when you take control of it. Lifelong learning isn't a buzzword. It's the secret weapon of the world's most fulfilled, successful, and innovative people. What lifelong learning really means. Lifelong learning is more than reading a book once a year or watching a TED Talk here and there. It's a mindset, a lifestyle. It means constantly evolving, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. It's about becoming someone who refuses to stagnate. You don't need to be in a classroom to grow. You don't need grades to prove your progress. Lifelong learning is about developing skills, gaining wisdom, asking better questions, and becoming more adaptable over time. Think about this. Every year, the world changes dramatically. New technologies emerge, new challenges arise. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. But when you embrace continuous learning, you stop reacting and start leading. Lifelong learners don't fear change. They welcome it. Why? Because they've trained their minds to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's the new superpower of The 21st century. Let's look at a simple truth. The brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you challenge it, the weaker it becomes. Lifelong learning is the gym for your mind, and the results, they show up everywhere, in your career, your relationships, your health, and your self-worth. Scientific and real-world benefits of continuous learning. Let's talk science for a moment, because the benefits of lifelong learning aren't just motivational slogans. They're backed by powerful research. Studies in neuroscience show that when you engage in regular learning, you create new neural pathways in your brain, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. This means your brain stays flexible, youthful, and sharp well into old age. Learning new skills also boosts memory, focus, and mental agility. Whether it's learning a language, picking up a new instrument, studying a business strategy, or just reading consistently, your brain thrives on novelty and challenge. But it's not just about cognition. Learning impacts your emotions too. People who engage in continuous learning report higher levels of confidence and resilience. They're less likely to suffer from depression and anxiety. Why? Because learning gives you a sense of progress, and progress is deeply linked to happiness. When you learn, you grow, and when you grow, you feel alive. On the real-world side, continuous learning is a career supercharger. In a world where jobs are being automated and industries are evolving faster than ever, staying ahead means staying informed. Employers look for learners, not knowers. People who can adapt, not just execute. Learning also builds leadership. It gives you better judgment, clearer communication, deeper empathy, and broader perspective. Whether you're running a business, leading a team, or raising a family, learning empowers you to do it better. Now here's something important. You don't have to learn everything. You just have to keep learning something. Even 20 minutes a day compounds over time. That's the beauty of it. Small daily improvements lead to massive transformation. Why most people stop learning, and how to avoid it. So, if learning is so powerful, why do most people stop? It's simple. They think they've already learned enough. Our society teaches us that education ends after high school or college. Once you've got the diploma, you're done. But that mindset is a trap. It creates what we call a fixed mindset, the belief that your intelligence, skills, and potential are set in stone. People with a fixed mindset say things like, "I'm just not good at that. It's too late to learn now. I don't have time." These beliefs are toxic, they kill growth, and they're flat out wrong. The truth? You're never too old to learn. You're never too busy to grow. You don't need to learn for hours. You just need to make it a part of your lifestyle. So how do we avoid falling into the trap of stagnation? Here are a few powerful principles. Embrace beginner's mind. Don't be afraid to be bad at something new. Every expert was once a beginner. Approach new subjects with curiosity, not ego. Ask questions. Stay humble. Be teachable. Make learning fun. Again, remember when learning was an adventure as a kid. You explored without shame. You made mistakes and laughed. Reignite that spirit. Choose topics that excite you. Mix learning with entertainment. Listen to audiobooks while you walk. Watch documentaries. Try hands-on projects. Prioritize growth over perfection. You don't need to master every subject. Focus on momentum, not mastery. Keep showing up. Keep engaging. Growth is better than perfection because growth leads somewhere. Surround yourself with learners. Your environment shapes your behavior. Hang out with people who are curious, ambitious, and always learning. Join communities. Follow thought leaders. Watch people who are a few steps ahead and take notes. Set learning goals. Don't just say, "I want to learn more." Get specific. Try goals like read 12 books this year, spend 30 minutes daily on personal growth, take one new course every quarter. Goals give your brain a target, and targets drive focus. Track your progress, write down what you're learning. Keep a learning journal. Create a knowledge bank. Reflect monthly on what you've read, heard, and discovered. When you track it, you'll see how far you've come, and that keeps motivation alive. Let go of comparison. It's not about learning faster than others. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday. Don't measure your growth against anyone else's timeline. Your journey is your own. Final thought: the learner's edge. Here's the truth. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they stop learning. The difference between the person you are today and the person you want to become lies in what you're willing to learn. Every book, every podcast, every new challenge is a stepping stone. You don't have to make giant leaps. You just need to keep stepping forward. So let me leave you with this. In a world where most people are content to consume, you've chosen to grow. That decision alone puts you in rare company. Every day that you learn, even just a little, is a day you move closer to your potential. And over time, that daily effort will put you miles ahead of the crowd. You're not behind. You're just getting started. And if you keep learning, you'll stay ahead, not by chance, but by choice. The power of continuous learning is in your hands. Now let's keep going. Chapter 2. How to build a daily learning habit. Let's get honest. How many times have you said, "I want to learn more," but never followed through? You're not alone. Most people want to grow, but they struggle to stay consistent. Why? Because they wait for the right time. They treat learning like a luxury instead of a lifestyle. But here's a truth bomb. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. The difference between someone who stays stuck and someone who thrives, it's not intelligence, it's daily consistency. So in this chapter, we're going to break down exactly how to build a learning habit that sticks. No willpower required. The myth of "I don't have time." Let's squash the number one excuse. I don't have time to learn every day. Yes, you do. You don't need 2 hours a day. You don't need a fancy setup. You just need 15 to 30 minutes of focused time and the intention to use it wisely. Think about this. The average person spends more than 2 hours a day on social media. Even 30 minutes of that time, redirected toward a book, a podcast, or a course, could transform your life over a year. So let's stop saying we don't have time. What we really don't have is a system. Let's build one. Step 1. Define why you want to learn. Before you build the habit, anchor yourself in a reason. Ask yourself, what am I trying to improve? What am I building toward? Who do I want to become a year from now? Whether it's becoming a better entrepreneur, building confidence, understanding the world more deeply, or simply staying mentally sharp, clarity creates motivation. When you're clear on why learning matters, the habit becomes a priority, not a chore. Step 2. Choose your learning format. There are many ways to learn. Don't force yourself into methods that don't suit your lifestyle or energy. Ask yourself, do I learn best through reading? Do I enjoy listening to podcasts or audiobooks during commutes? Do I prefer visual learning through YouTube or online courses? Choose formats that match your life rhythm. Example, commute, listen to audiobooks, waiting in lines or on walks. Short, podcasts. Morning routine, read a few pages. Lunch breaks, watch a 10-minute educational video. Your goal isn't to cram. Your goal is to embed learning naturally into your day. Step 3. Set a learning trigger. Habits stick better when they're connected to something you already do. This is called habit stacking. Here's how it works. After I current habit, I will new habit. Examples. After I make my morning coffee, I'll read 5 pages. After I brush my teeth at night, I'll reflect on one new idea I learned today. After I go for a walk, I'll listen to a podcast episode. Your existing routines become launchpads for your new learning habit. This makes it automatic and effortless. Step 4. Start ridiculously small. Don't try to conquer a textbook on day 1. Start tiny. Read 1 page. Listen for 5 minutes. Watch 1 short video. The key is to build the identity of being a learner, not a marathon reader. You can scale up later. The goal right now is to create momentum. Remember this phrase: small actions daily beat big actions occasionally. Step 5. Make it enjoyable. You're more likely to stick with something if it feels good. Choose topics that genuinely interest you. Don't force yourself to read heavy content just because it's trendy. Learning should feel like discovery, not homework. Also, create a cozy environment, a reading nook, a favorite mug of tea while listening, a quiet space with music while journaling. The more positive emotion you associate with learning, the faster it becomes a lifestyle. Step 6. Track your learning. This is where most people fall off. They do the work, but they don't see the progress. Tracking keeps you motivated. It turns invisible growth into visible wins. Here are some ways to track. Keep a learning log or journal. Use a habit tracker app. Set a streak challenge, e.g. 30 days of learning. Write down 1 insight a day in a notebook or phone. It doesn't have to be complex, just consistent. Bonus: when you look back after a few weeks, you'll be blown away by how much you've grown. Step 7. Celebrate small wins. Every day you show up to learn, celebrate it. Did you finish a book? Post about it. Did you learn something new from a video? Share it with a friend. Did you keep your 7-day streak? Treat yourself. These micro celebrations create a dopamine reward loop. Your brain begins to associate learning with success, and that's how habits become addictive in the best way. The 3 learning habits that changed my life. Let me share 3 simple daily habits that, when practiced consistently, can help you stay ahead of 99% of people. The 30-minute rule dedicate. 30 minutes each day to intentional learning, reading, listening, watching, or journaling. Doesn't matter the method, just the mindset. 2. The 1 idea rule every day. Capture 1 idea you learned and how you might apply it. Write it down. 1 idea a day. 365 powerful insights a year. The reflection rule. Spend 5 minutes at night reflecting. What did I learn today? What did it teach me about myself or the world? These 3 small habits build lifelong wisdom. What happens when you learn? Daily at first, it feels small, just a few minutes a day, just 1 insight. But over time, you begin to think differently. You start connecting dots others miss. You communicate better. You make smarter decisions. You develop more self-trust. You evolve quietly, consistently, and powerfully. And before you know it, you've become someone people turn to for clarity, solutions, and wisdom. Not because you're lucky, but because you've learned your way there. Final reminder: build the habit, then scale. Don't aim to be a genius overnight. Aim to become a learner for life. If all you do this week is learn for 10 minutes a day, you've already done more than most people do in a month. Stack that habit, nurture it, let it grow. Daily learning doesn't just change your knowledge. It changes your identity. Coming up next, in Chapter 3, Best Books for Self-Education, we'll dive into the top books that can completely shift your mindset, skill set, and future, no matter where you're starting from. Ready to stack your bookshelf? With brain fuel, let's go. Chapter 3, Best Books for Self-Education. If you could sit across from the greatest minds in history, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, Maya Angelou, what would you ask? Well, guess what? You already can, because they wrote it all down. Books are your shortcut to wisdom. They are mentors in paperback. They're the most affordable and powerful education system in the world. And in this chapter, we'll break down exactly which books to read, why they matter, and how to choose the right ones for your personal goals. Let's turn your reading time into rocket fuel for growth. Why books are still the #1 tool for self-education. Live in a world full of information, videos, tweets, TikToks, podcasts. So why focus on books? Here's why. Books are deep, structured, and intentional. They aren't designed for clicks, they're designed for clarity. They don't just give you facts, they give you frameworks. One well-read book can give you more value than 100 hours of scrolling. And here's the best part. The most successful people on the planet are voracious readers. Warren Buffett reads 5 hours a day. Bill Gates takes reading vacations. Oprah says books saved her life. Reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. Jim Rohn: you want to rise above 99% of people, books are your ladder. Must-read categories for self-education. You don't need to read everything. You need to read what matters to your life. But to become well-rounded, here are 6 essential categories you should build your bookshelf around. Mindset and psychology. The way you think determines how you live. That's why this category comes first. Top picks: Mindset by Carol Dweck, Atomic Habits by James Clear, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. These books challenge how you see problems, discipline and identity, money and finance. Financial education is life-changing. And sadly, most people were never taught how money really works. Top picks: Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, The Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. These books help you earn, save, invest, and grow wealth without guilt or guesswork. Health and energy. If you don't take care of your body, your brain will suffer. And if you're tired all the time, learning becomes a chore. Top picks: Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Yes, again, habits apply everywhere. Lifespan by David Sinclair. The Blue Zones by Dan Bietner. Eat That. Frog by Brian Tracy. Productivity pulses energy management. When you prioritize sleep, nutrition and movement, you unlock mental clarity and emotional control. Communication and relationships. No matter what you do in life, relationships will determine your success and happiness. Top picks: How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, Crucial Conversations by Patterson, Grenny, Macmillan and Switzler. Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. The Charisma Myth by Olivia Fox Cobain. Attached by Amir Levine. Learn to listen. Learn to express. Learn to connect. These skills will open doors in every area of life. Productivity and focus. With so many distractions, mastering your attention is a superpower. Top picks: Deep Work by Cal Newport. Essentialism by Greg McKeown. The One Thing by Gary Keller. Make Time by Jake Knapp and John Zaratsky. The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. These books help you do less but better, a skill that keeps you ahead of the noise. Purpose, spirituality and legacy. What's all the learning? For growth without direction can feel empty. These books help you connect to your values, your soul, and your legacy. Top picks: Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. Start with Why by Simon Sinek IV. Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. These aren't just books, they're mirrors for the soul. How to choose the right books for you. There's no one-size-fits-all reading list. The best books are the ones that match where you are in life and where you want to go. Ask yourself, what skill do I want to develop? What challenge am I facing right now? What do I want to understand on a deeper level? Choose books that solve a real problem in your life. If you're feeling stuck, read The Slight Edge or Atomic Habits. Want to start a business? Try The $100 Startup or Company of One. Healing from Burnout? Read Essentialism or Rest by Alex Sujung Kim Pang. Also, follow your curiosity. If a book keeps popping up in your life, read it. Trust your intuition. Books tend to show up when you need them. How to get the most out of what you read. Reading a book isn't enough. Applying what you read is what sets you apart. Here are a few ways to activate the knowledge. Highlight and annotate. Mark what speaks to you. Your brain remembers better when it's actively engaged. Summarize the main idea. After each chapter, ask, what did I learn? How can I use this? Teach someone else. The best way to remember something? Explain it simply to someone else. Take one action. For every book, commit to doing one thing differently in your life. Don't aim to read the most books. Aim to live the ideas you read. How many books should you read a year? Here's the truth. Quality beats quantity. Reading. One book that changes your life is better than skimming 10 you forget in a week. That said, most top performers aim for 1 to 2 books a month. That's 12 to 24 books a year. But even if you only read 6 books a year and applied what you learned, you'd be in the top 5% of learners on the planet. Pro. Tip: create a power shelf. Build a shelf, physical or digital, of the books that changed your thinking. These become your personal curriculum. Reread them, reflect on them, use them as a compass when you feel lost. My personal power shelf includes Atomic Habits, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Rich Dad, Poor Dad Man's Search for Meaning. Deep Work. These aren't just books, they're life blueprints. Your next step, here's a quick exercise. Pick one category from today's list that resonates with your current life stage. Choose one book from that category. Schedule 15 minutes a day to read it for the next 2 weeks. That's it. One book, one shift, one new chapter in your self-education journey. Final thoughts: reading isn't just about getting smarter. It's about becoming wiser. It's about equipping yourself for life. It's about remembering that every problem you face, someone has written a book about it. So go find your next guide. Your next mentor is already waiting. On a shelf, in a chapter, behind a cover. Coming up in Chapter 4, Podcasts and Audiobooks for Personal Growth, we'll explore how to turn passive moments, like commutes, chores, or workouts, into your greatest classroom. Because when you feed your mind daily, your life can't help but rise with it. Chapter 4. Podcasts and Audiobooks for Personal Growth. Let's be honest, most of us are constantly moving, driving, cooking, walking, cleaning, working out. These in-between moments might seem small, but they add up to hours every day. Now, imagine this. What if you could turn all that passive time into powerful personal growth? Welcome to the world of podcasts and audiobooks, your on-the-go learning tools. In this chapter, we'll dive into how to turn your ears into a classroom, introduce you to some of the most inspiring voices on the planet, and help you build your own growth audio playlist that feeds your mind daily. Why audio learning is a game changer. Let's face it, we don't always have time to sit and read. Life is busy. But with audio, you can absorb wisdom while living your life. Driving to work, that's 30 minutes of inspiration. Doing chores, that's 45 minutes of learning. On a run, that's 20 minutes of motivation. Struggling to fall asleep, that's reflection time. Audio turns wasted time into invested time, and the science backs it up. Studies show that auditory learning can be just as effective as reading, especially when the content is engaging and emotionally resonant. It activates your imagination, improves retention, and allows you to learn at your own pace. The power of podcasts. Your mentors in your pocket podcasts are free, easy to access, and wildly diverse. Whether you want to improve your mindset, finances, relationships, or leadership, there's a podcast out there that speaks your language. Let's look at some categories and powerful voices in each. Mindset and motivation. These hosts will light a fire under you when you need it most. The Ed Mylett Show, high-performance interviews with world-class achievers. The Mindset Mentor by Rob Dial, short, punchy episodes that rewire how you think. On Purpose with Jay Shetty, deep dives into relationships, identity, and wisdom. The Daily Stoic with Ryan Holiday, ancient philosophy, modern application. The Tony Robbins Podcast, business, mindset, and transformation with energy. Finance and wealth building. Learn how to earn, grow, and keep your money. The Dave Ramsey Show. Tough love on debt, budgeting, and financial peace. Bigger Pockets Podcast. Real estate investing made accessible. Choose FI. Financial independence. Through frugality and smart habits. I Will Teach You to Be Rich Podcast. Personal finance, psychology, and lifestyle design. Health and well-being. Physical energy fuels mental growth. The Huberman Lab, neuroscience, sleep, focus, fitness, deep and insightful. Found My Fitness, by Dr. Rhonda Patrick, aging, nutrition and performance science. The Model Health Show, by Sean Stevenson, accessible health advice for a better body and brain. Success and entrepreneurship, learn from those who've built it all from scratch. How I Built This, by Guy Raz. Founders tell the real stories behind their success. The Tim Ferriss Show, peak performance hacks from elite thinkers and doers. Smart Passive Income, by Pat Flynn, online business, side hustles, and growth. Communication and emotional intelligence, because understanding people is a superpower. We Can Do Hard Things, by Glennon Doyle, real, raw conversations on vulnerability and strength. Unlocking Us, by Brené Brown, shame, courage, connection, and empathy. The Art of Charm, social skills, persuasion, and confidence building. Audiobooks, turning commutes into classrooms. If podcasts are short lessons, audiobooks are full-on masterclasses, and with platforms like Audible, Scribd, Spotify, or even your local library's free Libby app, you can access thousands of books anywhere, anytime. Here are a few audiobooks that are must-listens for personal growth. Can't Hurt Me, by David Goggins, a mental toughness manifesto. His narration adds grit. Green Lights, by Matthew McConaughey, life wisdom with humor and swagger. The 5-Second Rule, by Mel Robbins, simple tools for instant action. The Power of Now, by Eckhart Tolle, presence and peace in every word. Extreme Ownership, by Jocko Willink, leadership, discipline, and responsibility. A great narrator can turn a good book into a transformative experience. That's the power of audio. You feel the message. How to curate your own growth audio playlist. Let's build your personal growth playlist. It's not just about what you listen to, but how and when. Here's a simple system. 1. Choose your learning themes. Pick 3 to 4 life areas you want to grow in right now. Example: mindset, health, money, communication. This keeps your listening focused and intentional. 2. Pick 1 to 2 podcasts per category. Don't overwhelm yourself. Pick a few trusted voices and stick with them for 30 days. Once you feel saturated or bored, rotate in new ones. 3. Keep a simple audio journal. Every week, write down what you listen to. 1 takeaway. 1 action you'll take. This keeps your brain engaged and helps with retention. 4. Assign your listening times. Mornings, motivation, commute, strategy, workouts, energy, and inspiration. Evenings, reflection or storytelling. By assigning types of content to specific times of day, you automate your learning without decision fatigue. How to learn deeply while on the move. It's easy to let audio become background noise. To make it stick, try these tactics. Pause and reflect. If something hits you, stop. Let it sink in. Think, how does this apply to me? Repeat key episodes. Repetition creates mastery. Re-listen to episodes that moved you. Teach what you learn at dinner with a friend, on social media. Teaching and retention. Use smart speed, but wisely. Apps like Overcast let you speed up audio. Use it for clarity, not just to rush through. Bookmark and revisit. Create a golden playlist of your most impactful listens. A note on information overload. Here's a trap many fall into: listening to too much without doing anything. Knowledge without application leads to mental clutter. Make this rule your mantra. For every hour of listening, take one step of action. If a podcast tells you to journal, do it. If a book inspires you to wake up earlier, set that alarm. Growth happens in your actions, not just your ears. Final thoughts: podcasts and audiobooks aren't just convenient, they're transformational. They allow you to bring learning into your life seamlessly. No classrooms, no lectures, just real voices, real stories, and real growth every single day. So next time you reach for your phone, ask yourself, will this scroll me forward or help me level up? Choose to feed your mind consistently, consciously, and curiously. Coming up in Chapter 5. The role of critical thinking in learning will explore how to not just consume information, but question it, challenge it, and own it. Because true growth doesn't come from memorizing, it comes from understanding. Chapter 5. The role of critical thinking in learning. Welcome to one of the most important chapters in this entire audiobook. You've been feeding your mind. You've been reading, listening, growing. But here's a powerful truth. Information without reflection is just noise. You can listen to 100 podcasts, read 50 books, and still remain stuck unless you activate one essential skill: critical thinking. This chapter is about how to think, not what to think. It's about stepping out of autopilot, questioning the world around you, and building a sharper, more resilient mind. Because in the age of endless content, critical thinking is your superpower. Why information without reflection is dangerous. Let's start with this. In today's world, we're flooded with content. Social media posts, breaking news, opinions, studies, hot takes, non-stop. And what happens when we take it all in without processing? We believe things that aren't true. We follow advice that doesn't serve us. We lose the ability to think for ourselves. That's dangerous. Because without reflection, we become reactors, not thinkers. It's like drinking water from a fire hose. Eventually, you drown. Information isn't power. Processed, questioned, and applied information is power. So if you want to rise above the 99%, this is your edge. Don't just consume. Contemplate. What is critical thinking really? Let's break it down simply. Critical thinking means asking. Why instead of just what? Looking beyond the surface, spotting biases, flaws, and assumptions. Holding two ideas in your head at the same time and not panicking. Being okay with not having all the answers. It's a skill. And like all skills, it can be practiced, sharpened, mastered. The best thinkers don't have all the answers. They ask better questions. How to question, analyze, and go deeper. Here are practical ways to elevate how you think. 1. Question the source. Before accepting any idea, ask, who said this? What's their motivation? Are they selling something? Do they benefit from my belief? Whether it's a tweet, podcast, or conversation, always ask where it's coming from. 2. Check for cognitive bias. We all have mental shortcuts. Biases that warp how we see things. Some big ones. Confirmation bias. You only seek info that supports what you already believe. Authority bias. You believe something just because an expert said it. Bandwagon effect. You believe it because everyone else does. Recognizing your own biases makes your thinking cleaner, sharper, and more objective. 3. Test the idea. Ask, is this always true or only sometimes? Could the opposite also be true? In certain cases, what evidence supports this idea? What would it take to disprove it? Good thinkers don't defend ideas. They test them like scientists. 4. Use the 5 whys method. Take any statement or belief and ask why 5 times. Example, I should wake up early. Why? Because successful people do. Why does that matter? Because they achieve more. Why do they achieve more? Maybe they use that time differently. Why does that work? Fewer distractions, more focus. Why does that matter to me? I want more control over my day. Now you've gone from a surface-level habit to understanding the core motivation behind it. That's how you dig deep. 5. Steelman the opposite. View most people. Strawman the opposing argument. They mock or simplify it, but strong thinkers do the opposite. They steelman. That means you build the strongest possible version of the other side's view before challenging it. This shows maturity, wisdom, and deeper understanding. You might still disagree, but you'll do it with insight, not ego. Critical thinking, exercises to elevate your mind. Let's get tactical. Here are 5 powerful ways to build your thinking muscle. 1. Daily reflection. Journaling every evening, ask yourself, what did I learn today? Did I question it or just accept it? What's one idea I could challenge or go deeper on? This. 5-minute habit compounds massively over time. 2. Disagree with a book. Read a book you don't agree with, not to hate read it, but to challenge yourself. Where do you disagree? Why? Could there be truth in their perspective? This builds intellectual flexibility. 3. Play devil's advocate. Take a belief you hold deeply. Now argue the opposite. Pretend you're debating someone. What would they say? How would you respond? This builds empathy and sharpens your logic. 4. Deconstruct a trend. Pick a popular trend, say intermittent fasting, AI tools, or minimalist living. Ask, what problem is this solving? Who benefits financially? What are the downsides? Is it a long-term solution or a short-term fad? Critical thinking turns hype into understanding. 5. Mind mapping. Take any complex idea, like productivity, relationships, or learning, and map it visually. Draw connections between causes, effects, habits, influences, and emotions. This makes abstract concepts concrete and reveals gaps in your thinking. Why this matters more than ever. Here's the truth. The world is getting louder, faster, more confusing. AI can write essays. Deepfakes can fool the eye. Social media can distort reality. In a world where anyone can publish anything, the ability to think clearly becomes your ultimate filter. When you think critically, you stop falling for get-rich-quick traps. You question toxic relationships. You choose your mentors wisely. You learn faster, deeper, and more meaningfully. You become immune to manipulation and grounded in wisdom. Final thoughts. Let's end with this. Learning is not about memorizing facts. It's about transforming how you see the world. And that transformation begins with thinking for yourself. So the next time you read a headline, hear a quote, or get advice, don't just absorb it. Pause, reflect, ask questions, go deeper, because the people who rise in life are not the ones who know the most. They're the ones who understand the best, and you're becoming one of them, one thought at a time. Chapter 6. How Successful People Learn. Every day, learning secrets of the top 1%. Success leaves clues. That's the good news. The great news? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can learn how the world's most successful people stay ahead, simply by studying their daily learning habits. In this chapter, we're diving into the minds, routines, and strategies of top performers, CEOs, athletes, innovators, creatives, and thinkers, and breaking down how they learn, adapt, and evolve. Every single day, you'll discover not only what they do, but how to model their success without copying blindly. Let's pull back the curtain and see what the top 1% are really doing to stay sharp. Why the top 1% never stop learning? First, let's get one thing straight. The most successful people you admire. They're students first. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading and thinking. Oprah credits her success to the intentional learning she's done through books and interviews. Elon Musk learned rocket science by reading books and asking smart questions. These are not people with extra time. They are people who prioritize growth over comfort. Success, at its core, isn't about luck or talent. It's about how fast you can learn, adapt, and execute. That's why learning is their daily ritual, not a hobby. The learning routines of high achievers. Let's break down what top performers do consistently. They schedule learning like. And meeting successful people don't just find time to learn. They make time. For them, learning is as important as a workout, meeting, or sales call. Barack Obama read for 1 hour every night while he was in office. Bill Gates schedules reading weeks where he isolates himself just to think and study. Naval Ravikant reads and reflects first thing in the morning. Action step. Block 30-60 minutes in your calendar daily for learning, just like you would for a doctor's appointment or a client call. They learn from multiple mediums. Top achievers know that the world is their classroom. They don't stick to one source. They learn from books, podcasts, mentors, documentaries, online courses, real-world conversations. They turn every walk, commute, or lunch break into a learning opportunity. Action step. Build a learning ecosystem around you. Combine audio, reading, visuals, and hands-on experiences. They reflect, and journal. Learning doesn't stick until it's processed. That's why many successful people use reflection journals to summarize what they learned. Ask, what does this mean for me? Spot patterns in their own thinking. Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, keeps a pain plus reflection progress journal. He treats every mistake or idea as a data point to analyze and grow from. Action step. End each day with 5 minutes of reflection. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How can I use this tomorrow? 4. They surround themselves with smart people. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Top performers intentionally curate their circle. They seek out mentors. They have thought-provoking conversations. They ask better questions. Think about it. Being around hungry, curious people pulls you forward. Being around passive, negative people pulls you down. Action step. Join a mastermind group, online forum, or reading circle. Engage in conversations that stretch your mind. They ask questions relentlessly. While others try to impress, successful learners are busy asking, why does this work? What am I missing? How could this fail? Who has already solved this problem? They're not afraid to look dumb. They know every question is a doorway to wisdom. Action step. Keep a curiosity notebook to track every question that pops into your mind. Google them, discuss them, explore them. They use the teach-back method. One of the fastest ways to learn is to teach. Richard Feynman, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist, used to say, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Top 1% learners explain concepts to others, friends, teams, or their audience. It forces clarity and reveals blind spots. Action step. After learning something new, try to explain it to someone else in plain language. Modeling success without copying blindly. Now, here's a trap to avoid. Don't just mimic, model. Copying someone's exact routine won't work if it doesn't align with your goals, lifestyle, or values. Instead, study their principles, then adapt them to your life. Let's say you admire a billionaire's reading habit of 5 hours a day, but you work full-time. Instead of quitting your job to read, you might wake up 30 minutes earlier for morning reading. Listen to audiobooks during your commute. Reflect while journaling before bed. The core principle is make intentional time for learning. How you do it is up to you. Think of it this way. Model the mindsets. Customize the methods. Real-world examples of daily learners. Let's look at a few more real-world learning blueprints. Tim Ferriss, author, investor, tracks every experiment he tries. Language, fitness, business. Interviews top performers. To reverse engineer success. Keeps a not-to-do list to avoid low-value inputs. Oprah Winfrey, media icon, asks every guest, "What is the lesson?" Reads across genres, from philosophy to self-help, uses stillness and meditation to internalize learning. Kobe Bryant, athlete, studied hours of game footage daily, learned from players past and present, obsessed over tiny improvements, 1%, better every day. Each of these individuals used different mediums, yet they all shared a common trait. They were active learners, not passive consumers, unlocking the learner's mindset. Let's bring it all home. Here's what separates the top 1%. They believe everything can be learned. They don't need motivation. They rely on systems. They turn everyday life into a classroom. They don't chase hacks. They build habits. They reflect, adapt, and evolve constantly. You don't need to become them, but you can become the best version of you by learning the way they do. Every single day you can feed your mind with powerful ideas. You can choose growth over comfort. You can make today smarter than yesterday. That's how you rise. That's how you lead. That's how you stay ahead of 99% of people. Chapter 7. Practical strategies to retain knowledge, why we forget, and how to fix it. Have you ever read a powerful book, watched an insightful video, or attended a fascinating class, only to forget almost everything a week later? You're not alone. Most of us are drowning in information, but starving for retention. It's not that we aren't learning, it's that we're not remembering. In this chapter, we'll explore how memory really works, why we forget, and most importantly, what you can do about it. You'll learn proven techniques like active recall, spaced repetition, and the teach-back method, and we'll walk step by step through building your own knowledge retention system. Let's unlock your brain's full potential. Arise. We forget, understanding the forgetting curve. Let's start with a sobering truth. According to research by Hermann Ebbinghaus, within 24 hours of learning something new, you forget about 70% of it. This is called the forgetting curve, and it's a natural part of how our brains operate. The brain is efficient. It filters out what it doesn't think is important. So unless you signal to your brain that information is worth keeping, it gets discarded. The good news? There are science-backed ways to beat this curve, and we're about to unpack them. Retention strategy. 1. Active recall. Active recall is the king of memory techniques. It works because instead of just reviewing information, you challenge your brain to retrieve it. Think of your memory like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Here's how to practice active recall. After reading a chapter, close the book and ask, "What did I just learn?" Write down key points from memory instead of rereading. Use flashcards that ask you a question instead of just showing a summary. Example, if you read a book on negotiation, don't just highlight sentences. Instead, quiz yourself. What are the top 3 tactics I learned? When would I use each? Why it works. Active recall strengthens neural connections. Every time you recall something, it becomes easier to remember in the future. Retention strategy. 2. Spaced repetition. Learning something once isn't enough. Spaced repetition is about reviewing information at gradually increasing intervals. Instead of cramming, you review right before you're about to forget. Here's a simple timeline. Day 1, learn it. Day 2, review. Day 4, review again. Day 7, review again. Day 15, quick check-in. Day 30, lock it in. You can use tools like Anki, Quizlet, or even a simple calendar or notebook to schedule these reviews. Why it works. Spaced repetition aligns with how your brain naturally forgets. It interrupts the forgetting curve and refreshes knowledge right before it disappears. Retention strategy. Number 3. Teach what you learn. Here's a powerful principle. If you can teach it, you own it. This is known as the Feynman technique, named after physicist Richard Feynman. Here's how it works. Learn something new. Try to explain it to someone else or to yourself in plain, simple language. If you struggle, go back, review, and simplify. Repeat. Pro tip: create a private blog, record a short video, or just talk to a friend about what you're learning. Why? It works. Teaching forces you to organize your knowledge, identify gaps, and simplify complex ideas. Building your own retention system is put it all together into a practical system you can use daily without burning out. Step 1. Create a master learning journal. This is your brain's external hard drive. Use a notebook, Notion, or Google Docs, whatever works for you. Each time you read, listen, or watch something valuable, summarize the key takeaways in your own words. Add what you learned, why it matters, how you can apply it, when to revisit it. Bonus tip: tag your notes by theme: mindset, health, money, communication, etc. Step 2. Use a simple review system. Don't wait for information to fade. Schedule mini reviews using spaced repetition. You can set calendar reminders, use Anki or Notion templates. Review during your Sunday reflection time. Pro tip: keep each review short. Just skim your notes, quiz yourself, or explain one big idea out loud. Step 3. Apply immediately. The best way to retain knowledge. Use it in real life. Immediately. Learned a new productivity hack. Try it at work today. Read about better conversations. Use it during your next meeting. Heard a quote you love? Post it with your thoughts on social media. When you apply something, it moves from short-term memory to long-term understanding. Pitfalls to avoid. Even the best strategies fail if you fall into these traps. Passive learning, just reading and nodding isn't enough. Highlighting and underlining feel productive, but don't improve retention. Fix: always test yourself. Ask, what did I learn? How would I explain this? Cramming for memory cramming helps you pass a test, but not retain wisdom. Success in life depends on long-term access to knowledge. Fix: space out your reviews. Reinforce knowledge slowly but consistently. Overloading the brain, trying to learn everything at once, overwhelms your memory and reduces retention. Fix: focus on fewer ideas, but go deeper. Master one before moving to the next. Turn knowledge into wisdom. Learning without retention is like pouring water into a leaky bucket. You might look busy, but nothing stays. But when you use these tools, active recall, spaced repetition, and teaching, you seal that bucket. You store wisdom, not just words. And here's the magic. The more you remember, the more you connect ideas. The more you connect, the more you create. And the more you create, the more value you bring to your life and others. Recap. Your knowledge retention toolkit. Let's summarize your new tools. Active recall. Quiz yourself instead of rereading. Spaced repetition. Review at smart intervals. Teach it. Explain it simply to lock it in. Learning journal. Capture your own takeaways. Real-life application. Use what you learn immediately. With these tools, you'll become a master learner. You'll retain more, understand deeper, and grow faster than ever before. Chapter 8. Overcoming Learning Plateaus. Why your brain stalls and how to push through. Have you ever felt stuck in your learning journey? Maybe you started strong, devouring books, mastering new skills, feeling unstoppable. But suddenly, you hit a wall. Your progress slows down. Your excitement fades. You wonder if you're just not cut out for this. That frustrating place is what we call a learning plateau. And here's the good news. It's completely normal. In fact, it's a sign you're growing. In this chapter, we'll explore why plateaus happen, dive into the powerful science of neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to change and grow, and reveal practical motivation hacks to reignite your drive and break through. Let's get unstuck and supercharge your personal growth. Why your brain stalls. The learning plateau. Explained first, let's understand what's happening. Imagine you're learning a new skill, say, playing the guitar. At the start, every day you improve noticeably. You learn chords, strum patterns, even a simple song. Progress feels fast and exciting. But after a while, the improvements aren't as obvious. The same exercises feel repetitive. You hit a frustrating wall where it seems like you're not getting better at all. This plateau happens because of how the brain adapts and automates skills. The habit versus challenge. Balance. When you begin learning, your brain works hard to form new neural connections. Every note you practice requires intense focus and effort. Over time, your brain automates many of those actions into habits, requiring less conscious effort. Your muscle memory takes over. While this is a good thing, it can also make learning feel stagnant. The brain isn't being challenged in the same way, so growth slows. Mental fatigue and motivation. Dip another reason for plateaus? Your brain's natural tendency to avoid fatigue and conserve energy. When you face continuous effort without fresh rewards, motivation drops. You might feel bored, tired, or frustrated, leading to a stall in progress. The science of neuroplasticity, your brain's superpower. Here's where the magic happens. Neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. It means your brain can literally rewire based on experience, learning, and practice. This is why personal growth is always possible. Even if you feel stuck now, your brain is adaptable and can rebuild pathways to learn new skills, think in new ways, and overcome plateaus. How to harness neuroplasticity. The key to overcoming plateaus is to challenge your brain with new, meaningful experiences. Here's how to do it. Vary your learning methods. If you always read, try videos, podcasts, or hands-on practice. Increase difficulty gradually. Push just beyond your comfort zone. Add complexity to exercises. Solve tougher problems. Stay consistent. Neuroplasticity requires repetition and persistence over time. Get enough rest and nutrition. Your brain heals and grows when well cared for. Motivation. Hacks to reignite. Your drive plateaus often feel like a motivation killer. Here are practical ways to reignite your learning fire. Set micro goals and celebrate small wins. Big goals can feel overwhelming, leading to procrastination. Instead, break your learning into small, achievable goals. Master one concept per day. Practice for 15 minutes daily. Memorize 5 new words each session. Celebrate these small wins. This boosts dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, and keeps motivation high. Change your environment. Sometimes a fresh setting sparks creativity. Try changing your study spot. Learning outdoors, listening to new background music. Small environment tweaks can reset your focus and energy. Use the power of why. Remind yourself why you started learning in the first place. Write down your reasons, vision, or dreams related to your learning. Return to this list whenever you feel unmotivated. Connecting to your why keeps your heart and mind aligned. Find a learning buddy or community. Sharing your journey with others creates accountability and social motivation. Join online groups, forums, or clubs. Study or practice with friends. Celebrate progress together. Learning becomes more fun and less isolating. Mix work and rest. The brain needs downtime to process and consolidate learning. Try the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of focused work, 5-minute breaks. Make time for exercise, meditation, or hobbies to recharge. Practical steps to break through your plateau. Let's turn motivation and science into action. Step 1. Identify your plateau zone. Be honest. Where do you feel stuck? Is it understanding concepts, applying skills, or maintaining motivation? Step 2. Add novelty to your learning. Switch your routine. Read a new author, try a different format, or tackle a tougher project. Step 3. Set a micro goal for the next 7 days. Make it specific, measurable, and achievable. Step 4. Build in accountability. Tell a friend or journal your progress daily. Step 5. Reflect weekly. What's working? What isn't? Adjust and repeat. Real-life inspiration. How successful people break plateaus. Every top performer hits plateaus. What sets them apart is how they respond. Elon Musk reportedly reads widely, switching topics to keep his brain sharp. Serena Williams changes her training routines constantly to push past limits. Oprah Winfrey practices daily meditation and journaling to maintain clarity and motivation. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, just borrow their strategies and adapt them to your own learning style. Summary: embrace plateaus as growth markers. Remember, plateaus aren't failures, they're signposts on your learning journey. They show you've reached a new level and it's time to stretch again. With the power of neuroplasticity and smart motivation hacks, you can break through these walls. Keep experimenting, stay curious, and never lose sight of your why. Your breakthrough is just ahead. Chapter 9. Using technology to learn faster. The best apps, platforms, and tools. Welcome to the digital age, a time when learning is more accessible and faster than ever before. With just a smartphone or computer, you can access thousands of courses, books, podcasts, and interactive tools at your fingertips. But here's the catch. Technology can be a powerful ally or a distracting enemy. In this chapter, we'll dive into how to use technology to accelerate your learning, highlight the best apps and platforms to try, and share practical tips to stay focused and organized. Why technology matters in learning today. Think back just 20 years. Learning required trips to libraries, enrolling in physical classes, or buying expensive textbooks. Today, the entire world's knowledge can fit in your pocket, but the sheer volume of information can overwhelm you. That's why learning how to use technology efficiently is just as important as what you learn. The best apps and platforms. To supercharge your learning, here are some of the most powerful tools used by lifelong learners and high achievers. Coursera, Udemy, edX. Online course platforms. Get access to courses from top universities and experts on everything from coding to psychology. Many courses are free or affordable and let you learn at your own pace. Blinkist, book summaries in 15 minutes, perfect for busy learners. Blinkist condenses thousands of non-fiction books into short, actionable summaries. Great for getting the gist fast and deciding which books to dive deeper into. Anki and Quizlet, spaced repetition flashcards. These apps use scientifically proven spaced repetition to help you memorize facts, vocabulary, or concepts efficiently. ideal for languages, medicine, law, or any detail-heavy subject. Notion and Evernote, digital note, taking and organization, capture your ideas, make outlines, track progress, and organize all your learning resources in one place. Both apps sync across devices and are highly customizable. Audible and Spotify, audiobooks and podcasts. Listening to audiobooks and podcasts transforms downtime, like commutes or chores, into powerful learning sessions. Audible offers a vast audiobook library, while Spotify hosts thousands of educational podcasts. Speed reading apps, Spreeder, Ready. These tools train your eyes and brain to read faster by displaying words or phrases in quick succession, improving comprehension over time. Speed reading, note-taking, and digital organization. Learning faster isn't just about consuming more. It's about processing and organizing what you take in. Speed reading. Tips: start slow and build speed. Don't sacrifice comprehension. Use tools like Spreeder or Ready to practice pacing your reading. Avoid subvocalization. The habit of saying each word in your head slows you down. Instead, focus on visualizing meaning. Skim strategically by scanning headings, subheadings, and keywords first. Note taking for retention. Digital note-taking can revolutionize how you store and recall knowledge. Here's how to make it work. Summarize ideas in your own words. This boosts understanding. Use bullet points, highlights, and tags to structure notes clearly. Link related notes or concepts to create a web of knowledge. Review and revise notes regularly to reinforce memory. Organizing your learning. Digital space chaos kills motivation. Organize your digital files and apps to keep your learning efficient. Create folders by topic or project. Use calendar apps to schedule dedicated learning sessions. Set reminders for reviewing notes or courses. Back up important files to cloud storage. How to make tech your learning ally, not a distraction. Technology's biggest trap is distraction. Social media notifications, tempting apps, and endless scrolling can destroy your focus. Here's how to stay in control. Use focus mode or app blockers. Apps like Forest, Freedom, or Stay Focused temporarily block distracting websites or apps so you can focus fully on learning. Set clear boundaries and time blocks. Schedule specific times for learning and stick to them. Use the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes focused, 5 minutes break to stay fresh. Turn off notifications. Disable unnecessary alerts during study sessions to reduce interruptions. Curate your digital diet. Follow only educational, motivational, and goal-aligned content on social media and podcasts. Unfollow or mute distractions. Reflect and adjust regularly. Check in with yourself weekly. Are your tech tools helping or hurting your progress? Adjust accordingly. Putting it all together. A sample digital learning routine. Morning. Listen to a motivational podcast during your commute. Daytime. Complete a 30-minute online course module. Afternoon. Use Anki flashcards to review key concepts. Evening. Spend 20 minutes speed reading a book summary on Blinkist. Night. Organize notes in Notion and plan tomorrow's learning schedule. Summary. Leverage technology wisely to accelerate your growth. Technology unlocks extraordinary opportunities to learn faster and smarter. But mastery lies in intentional use, discipline, and balance. Adopt the best apps and tools that suit your style. Organize your digital space and guard your focus like a treasure. The smarter your technology habits, the faster your growth. Chapter 10. How to apply what you learn. Turning knowledge into real-life power. Learning is only as valuable as what you do with what you know. You can read hundreds of books, binge listen to podcasts, and complete countless courses. But if you don't apply that knowledge, nothing changes. This chapter is all about closing that gap between learning and action. We'll explore why application matters, share powerful techniques to make learning stick, and guide you to create habits that transform ideas into lasting growth. Why application is the game changer. Think of knowledge like seeds. Without planting and nurturing them in your daily life, they won't grow into the trees that bear fruit. Many people fall into the trap of learning for the sake of learning without taking the next step. But when you apply new ideas, you deepen your understanding, you build confidence and skill, you create momentum for further growth. You see real improvements in your work, relationships, and well-being. In short, application turns theory into transformation. How to bridge the gap between learning and doing here are proven strategies to put your knowledge into action consistently. Take immediate action. Right after learning something new, commit to doing one thing related to it. If you read about goal setting, write your goals tonight. If you hear about a communication technique, try it in your next conversation. If you learn a productivity hack, implement it tomorrow morning. Immediate application solidifies memory and builds habit. Use the teach-back method. Teaching others is one of the fastest ways to internalize knowledge. Explain new concepts to a friend. Record yourself summarizing ideas, or write blog posts or social media notes. When you teach, you clarify your own understanding and discover gaps to revisit. Create small experiments instead of aiming for big changes all at once. Treat learning as a series of experiments. Try a new habit for a week. Test a productivity tip during one project. Experiment with new mindset techniques for a day. Observe results, tweak your approach, and learn from feedback. Set SMART goals for application. Make your learning actionable by setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Example, instead of get better at public speaking, say, practice a 5-minute speech once per week for the next month. Clear goals provide direction and make success trackable. Build reflection. Into your routine, reflection is the secret sauce of applying knowledge effectively. At the end of each day or week, ask yourself, what new thing did I try? What worked well? What could I improve? How did this affect my progress? Journaling answers to these questions builds self-awareness and helps you course correct. Habits that turn learning into lifestyle. To truly benefit from what you learn, you want to create habits that naturally incorporate application into your day. Here's how. Habit stacking. Attach new learning actions to existing habits. For example, after brushing your teeth, review a flashcard. While drinking morning coffee, listen to an educational podcast. Before checking email, write down one thing you learned that day. Habit stacking makes application automatic and effortless. Use reminders and triggers. Set phone alerts or calendar. Reminders to prompt learning tasks. Visual cues, like sticky notes or an inspiring quote on your desk, also keep your goals top of mind. Accountability. Partners. Share your learning goals and application plans with a friend or mentor. Regular check-ins. Create external motivation to follow through. Avoiding common application pitfalls. Even the best intentions can get derailed. Watch out for these traps. Overwhelming yourself. Trying to apply everything at once leads to burnout. Focus on 1 or 2 key takeaways at a time. Perfectionism. Don't wait for perfect conditions or mastery. Start small. Accept mistakes as part of growth and improve along the way. Neglecting consistency. Results come from repeated application over time. Even small daily efforts add up. Real-life examples. Applying learning to change your life. Example 1. Sarah, a marketing professional, learned about storytelling techniques in a course. She immediately applied one new tip each week in client presentations. Over months, her communication skills improved, leading to promotions and new opportunities. Example 2. James wanted to improve health. After reading about habit stacking, he added a 5-minute stretching routine after his morning shower. Over time, this tiny change grew into a full fitness habit. Summary: take action, make it. Stick learning is a powerful tool, but it's only through application that your knowledge becomes a catalyst for real change. Remember these key points. Take immediate small actions after learning. Teach others to deepen your understanding. Experiment and adapt your approach. Set clear, smart goals. Reflect regularly to improve. Build habits that integrate learning into your lifestyle. Your growth depends on doing more than knowing. Chapter 11. The importance of a growth mindset, unlocking your potential through belief and attitude. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to thrive in the face of challenges while others crumble? The difference is often mindset. Specifically, having a growth mindset. In this chapter, we'll uncover what a growth mindset really is, why it matters more than raw talent or intelligence, and how you can develop this powerful mindset to fuel your personal growth journey. What is a growth mindset? The concept comes from psychologist Carol Dweck, who described two primary mindsets: fixed mindset, belief that abilities and intelligence are static, unchangeable traits; growth mindset, belief that skills and intelligence can be developed. Through effort, learning, and persistence, people with a fixed mindset avoid challenges, fear failure, and give up easily. Those with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities, embrace mistakes as learning, and keep pushing forward. Why a growth mindset is the foundation for success. Talent or raw ability may open doors, but a growth mindset builds the pathway to lasting achievement. Benefits of a growth mindset: greater resilience and persistence, increased motivation and engagement, willingness to take risks and innovate, enhanced problem-solving skills, more effective learning and adaptation. How to cultivate your growth mindset? It starts with awareness and intentional practice. Here's how. 1. Recognize fixed mindset triggers. Pay attention when you think, "I'm just not good at this. I failed, so I'm a failure. This is too hard. I'll never get it." These are signals your fixed mindset is active. Reframe your self-talk. Change your inner dialogue. From "I can't do this" to "I can't do this yet." From "I failed" to "I learned what doesn't work." From "I'm not smart enough" to "I can grow smarter with effort." Embrace challenges and mistakes. Instead of avoiding difficulty, seek it out as a chance to improve. Mistakes aren't setbacks. They're feedback. Celebrate effort over outcome. Praise yourself for hard work, persistence, and learning, not just results. Learn from others. See others' success as inspiration and a source of lessons, not as threats. Growth mindset. Exercises to practice. Daily journaling prompts. What challenges did I face today? How did I respond? What did I learn from a recent mistake? How did I push myself outside my comfort zone? Affirmations. I am capable of learning anything I set my mind to. Every effort I make brings me closer to my goals. I grow stronger through challenges. Visualization. Imagine yourself overcoming obstacles and growing through setbacks. Real-life growth mindset stories. J.K. Rowling faced numerous rejections before Harry Potter was published, but her belief in growth kept her writing. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He used this setback as fuel to work harder and become the greatest. Summary: your mindset shapes your future. Your mindset is the soil in which your potential either flourishes or withers. By embracing a growth mindset, you unlock courage to face challenges, curiosity to learn continuously, resilience to bounce back stronger. With this mindset, no failure is final, and every day is a chance to grow. Chapter 12. Creating a personalized learning plan, crafting your roadmap for lifelong education. Imagine trying to reach a destination without a map. You might wander, take wrong turns, or never get there at all. That's what self-education looks like without a plan. In this chapter, we're going to create your personal learning roadmap, customized to fit your goals, interests, and schedule. You'll discover how to structure your learning using monthly themes, 90-day sprints, and goal-based systems. And we'll show you how to track your growth and adjust along the way. Because the truth is, when you learn with purpose, you grow with power. Why you need a personalized learning plan? We live in the age of information overload. You can learn anything, but without a filter or direction, you end up consuming content randomly and forgetting most of it. A structured learning plan changes everything. It gives you clarity, it builds momentum, it creates focus, and it keeps you accountable. This chapter is about designing a plan that works for you, not against you. Step 1. Define your learning goals. Before anything else, ask yourself, what do I want to improve in my life right now? What skills or knowledge will help me achieve that? Where do I want to be in 1 year, in 5 years? Maybe you want to master personal finance, become a better speaker, or deepen your understanding of psychology. Write down 3-5 core learning goals for the next 12 months. Step 2. Use monthly themes. Break your learning into monthly themes. Each month, focus on one specific topic or skill. Examples: January, productivity and time management. February, emotional intelligence. March, public speaking. April, investing fundamentals. May, health and nutrition. June, mindset and confidence. This focused approach prevents overwhelm and builds depth instead of surface-level knowledge. Step 3. Plan 90-day sprints. Take your yearly goals and structure them into 90-day learning sprints. Why 90 days? It's long enough to make real progress, but short enough to stay focused and motivated. Each sprint should have 1 to 2 major learning outcomes. X, deliver a public speech, or invest $1,000 wisely. A list of resources. Books, courses, podcasts, weekly action steps. A review session at the end. Step 4. Choose the right learning sources for each theme. Gather materials across different formats. Books, foundational knowledge, podcasts, fresh perspectives and stories, audiobooks, great for learning on the go courses, structured, skill-specific training, YouTube, TED Talks, quick, inspiration or visual explanation, people, mentors, friends, professionals in the field, diversifying formats, engages your brain more effectively and improves retention. Step 5. Create a weekly learning schedule. Here's a simple framework to stay consistent. 15 to 30 minutes per day of focused learning. 1-2 hours on weekends to go deeper. Reading, note-taking projects. Weekly review session to reflect. And plan ahead. If your time is limited, aim for consistency over volume. Even 10 minutes a day matters more than binge learning once a month. Step 6. Track your progress. Use a simple learning journal or app to track what you learned today, insights or breakthroughs, what you applied, what's still unclear. This not only boosts memory, but builds momentum and self-awareness. Suggested tools: Notion or Evernote, Google Sheets, or Trello physical journal with daily, weekly prompts. Step 7. Stay agile. Adjust as you grow. Your learning plan should be flexible, not rigid. Every month ask, am I still excited about this topic? Has my goal changed? Do I need to slow down or go deeper? It's okay to pivot. Lifelong learning is a dynamic journey. Bonus, personal learning projects. Once you've absorbed knowledge, reinforce it with projects. Examples: write a blog post or article, launch a small business experiment, give a presentation or workshop, build a simple app or product, create a guide or checklist to teach others. Projects turn knowledge into experience and experience into confidence. Example: Sarah's personalized learning plan. Let's say Sarah wants to build confidence and leadership skills. Yearly goal: become a more effective leader and public speaker. Monthly themes: January, self-awareness and mindset. February, communication skills. March, leadership fundamentals. 90-day sprint. Goal: deliver a speech at her company's team. Meeting weekly plan: 30 minutes daily podcast or reading one practice speech every Sunday. Reflect in journal each Friday. Project: record herself giving a mock presentation each week and improve each time within 3 months. Sarah goes from anxious speaker to confident communicator because she had a clear path. Summary: design a plan that works for you. You don't need to follow anyone else's journey. You need a plan that fits your life, goals, and pace. Here's how to build it. Set clear learning goals. Choose monthly themes to stay focused. Structure 90-day sprints for action. Select resources that match your style. Stick to a weekly schedule. Track your progress consistently. Stay flexible and revise as needed. Reinforce with personal projects. This is how you stop drifting and start owning your growth. Chapter 13. How to stay consistent with learning, building identity-based habits for lifelong growth. Let's be honest. Starting to learn something new is exciting. You buy the books, download the apps, make your study playlist. You're on fire, but then life gets busy. Work piles up, your energy dips, and slowly, without even noticing, your daily learning habit fades. Sound familiar? This chapter is your toolkit for staying consistent, even when motivation disappears. You'll learn how to build identity-based habits, what to do when you don't feel like learning, and long-term strategies that will help you show up day after day, until learning becomes a part of who you are. Why consistency is more powerful than intensity. In the world of self-education, consistency beats intensity every single time. You don't need to study for 5 hours straight once a week. What you need is to show up for 20-30 minutes a day, even when it's hard. That's how real transformation happens. Consistency compounds. It turns small actions into massive progress over time. Step 1. Build identity-based habits. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, shares a powerful idea. True behavior change is identity change. Instead of saying, "I want to learn more," say, "I am a lifelong learner. I'm the kind of person who reads every day. I am committed to personal growth." Once you believe that's who you are, your habits follow naturally. Learning stops being something you do and becomes part of who you are. Try this. Every morning, look in the mirror and affirm, "I am the type of person who grows every day." Then follow it with one learning action, even something tiny, a page, a paragraph, a podcast clip. Step 2, create a learning ritual. Habits stick better when they're tied to something you already do. This is called habit stacking. Here are examples. After you brush your teeth, read 2 pages of a book. After your morning coffee, play a podcast. After lunch, review your learning notes. Before bed, journal one thing you learned today. Make it so natural that skipping your learning time feels off. Step 3. Set tiny, ridiculously easy goals. When motivation is low, don't ask yourself to finish a whole chapter or course. Instead, set a minimum baseline. Example: I will read just 1 page. I will listen to 5 minutes of a podcast. I will write 1 sentence in my learning journal. These tiny actions keep your habit alive, and often once you start, you'll keep going. Step 4. Use time blocks and triggers. Schedule your learning like an appointment. Block out time in your calendar, even just 20 minutes, and treat it as sacred. Pair it with a trigger, like setting a phone reminder, playing your learning playlist. Sitting in a specific chair or space, make learning time feel like a ritual, not a chore. Step 5. Build systems. Not willpower. Motivation is fleeting. Systems last. Create an environment that makes learning automatic. Keep your current book visible on your desk. Use learning apps that track your streak. Join a learning community for accountability. Turn off distractions during learning time. Success doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on how well you've designed your system. What to do. When motivation fades, everyone hits a wall. That's normal. Here's what to do. Revisit your why. Remind yourself why learning matters. To you, is it to build a better future, gain freedom or confidence, be someone your future self will be proud of? Reconnect with your deeper motivation. Switch formats. If you're bored of reading, try a podcast. If videos feel stale, try journaling. Keep the medium fresh. Sometimes a tiny shift rekindles excitement. Celebrate small wins. Did you show up? Today, even for 5 minutes, that's a win. Did you learn one new idea? That's a win. Track and celebrate progress. Momentum is built on tiny victories. Step 6. Use the power of streaks. Humans love streaks. It's why apps like Duolingo and Kindle show how many days in a row you've shown up. Create your own streak tracker. Hang a calendar and mark an everyday you learn. Use apps like Habitica, Streaks, or Notion habit trackers. Reward yourself for hitting 7-day or 30-day milestones. Your brain craves progress. Use that to your advantage. Step 7. Build in accountability. Learning doesn't have to be lonely. Find a friend, mentor, or online group and check in weekly. Share what you're learning. Talk through challenges. Encourage each other when others expect you to show up. You're far more likely to follow through. Step 8. Prepare for messy days. Some days, life will knock you off your routine. That's okay. The key is to have a backup plan, a minimal version of your habit that you can do no matter what. Examples. Listen to a 5-minute clip while brushing your teeth. Read one inspirational quote. Before bed, review a saved note or flashcard. On the go, don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. Long-term strategies for relentless growth. Review monthly every 30 days. Ask, what did I learn this month? What worked well? What needs to change? This reflection keeps you intentional and adaptive. Make learning. Social. Start a book club. Join a mastermind. Teach what you've learned. When you connect learning with community, it becomes more meaningful and fun. Keep your learning aligned with your life. If your life changes, let your learning evolve. 2. Just got a new job. Focus on career skills. Feeling stressed. Learn about mental wellness. Learning should never feel like an obligation. It should feel like support for the life you're building. Summary. Discipline beats motivation. You don't need to feel inspired every day. What you need is a clear system, small daily actions, and a deep belief that you're the kind of person who never stops growing. To stay consistent, build identity-based habits, create learning rituals and stack them. Keep goals small and manageable. Use streaks and systems. Stay flexible but never quit. Track progress and celebrate often. Build accountability and community. Keep learning relevant to your life. Your future self is shaped by what you do today, not someday, today. Chapter 14. Common mistakes in self-education, pitfalls to avoid on your lifelong learning journey. Let's pause for a moment. You've come a long way. You understand the power of daily learning. You've explored books, audio, tech tools, mindsets, Memory hacks, all of it. But let me ask you something important. What stops most people from succeeding at self-education? It's not lack of resources. It's not intelligence. It's not time. It's the traps, the blind spots, the common mistakes. This chapter is your early warning system. A flashlight to shine on the invisible walls that trip up even the most motivated learners. You'll learn the 3 most common self-education mistakes, why learning isn't a race and how rushing backfires, how to get back on track when you've slipped or lost momentum. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, information overload. Let's be honest, the world is loud. We live in an age where information is everywhere. Hundreds of unread tabs on your browser, dozens of bookmarked podcast episodes, 10 books halfway finished, new courses, newsletters, YouTube videos, every hour. You start one thing, jump to another, and before you know it, you're drowning in knowledge, with nothing truly learned. This is the illusion of progress. It feels like you're learning, but you're not absorbing or applying. You're just consuming. Solution: learn less, apply more. Instead of asking, what should I learn next? Start asking, what have I already learned that I haven't used yet? Slow down, choose one topic, one book, or one course, and go deep. Take notes, reflect, apply. Remember, mastery is more powerful than multitasking. Mistake number 2, perfectionism. Perfectionism wears many disguises. I need the perfect notebook before I start taking notes. I'll study when I find the ideal time. This method isn't working perfectly, so I'll quit. But here's the truth. Perfection kills progress. Self-education is messy. You'll miss days, you'll forget things, you'll change methods. That's normal. Perfectionism convinces you to wait for ideal conditions that never come. Solution: embrace imperfect action. Progress loves action, not perfection. Start where you are. Use what you have. Improve as you go. Don't worry about finishing every book. Extract one idea and move on. Don't obsess over the best strategy. Stick to any consistent one. Don't expect perfect focus every day. Just show up. Let go of flawless. Focus on forward. Mistake number 3, lack of focus. Many self-learners bounce between goals like a pinball machine. One week it's finance. Next week it's philosophy. Then suddenly it's productivity. Then fitness, then French. It feels exciting, but nothing sticks. Without clear direction, learning becomes entertainment, not transformation. Solution: focus on themes and seasons. Use a theme-based approach. Choose one main focus per month, e.g. mindset or money. Break the year into 90-day learning sprints. Set a learning outcome for each sprint, like understand investing basics or become a better communicator. Learning with intention turns random facts into real power. Why learning isn't a race. Here's a dangerous mindset. I need to catch up. I'm so behind. Everyone else knows more than me. This kind of thinking will burn you out fast. Let's be clear. Learning is not a race, it's a lifestyle. There's no finish line, no deadline, no scoreboard. And guess what? You are exactly where you need to be. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. The person who wins is the one who stays in the game the longest. What to do when you slip? Life happens. You get sick, you travel, you lose momentum, you miss a week, then another, then you feel guilty, you feel like you've failed. So you stop completely. Sound familiar? Here's what you need to hear. You didn't fail, you paused. The real failure is never starting again. Try this 3-step reset. Forgive yourself. Guilt is a trap. Let it go. Restart small. Don't try to catch up. Just pick up where you left off. Reconnect to your why. Remind yourself why this matters to you. Even one page, one podcast clip, one idea. That's all it takes to get back on track. Bonus pitfalls to watch out for: consuming without reflecting. If you never pause to ask, what does this mean for me? You'll forget 90% of what you learn. Take time to write, talk, or teach what you absorb, jumping to application too soon. Sometimes we rush to implement before we understand deeply. Sit with ideas. Let them sink in before turning them into action, comparing your path to others. Self-education is self-directed. Don't let someone else's progress make you feel behind. You're running your own race. The self-education mindset: learn, reflect, apply. Repeat. Self-education isn't about being perfect. It's about building a habit of learning with intention, reflecting with honesty, applying with courage, repeating with consistency. When you fall off, you get back on. When you feel overwhelmed, you simplify. When you doubt yourself, you remember your why. That's the rhythm of growth. Summary: the mistakes that stall progress. Let's recap the big ones. Information overload, learning too much without depth. Perfectionism, waiting for ideal conditions. Lack of focus, jumping between random topics, feeling behind, thinking. Learning is a competition, losing momentum, letting guilt stop your restart. And the antidotes: learn less, apply more, embrace action over perfection, use themes and sprints to focus. Treat learning as a lifestyle, not a race. Reset quickly and gently when you stumble. The best learners aren't the fastest or smartest. They're the ones who keep going, even when it's messy. Chapter 15: How Learning Transforms Your Life, from Information to Transformation. Let's pause for a moment. Think about who you were a year ago. Now think about who you're becoming, because you've chosen to make learning a daily priority. This chapter isn't about tips, hacks, or tactics. It's about transformation, because that's the ultimate promise of self-education. It doesn't just change what you know, it changes who you are. Let's talk about what happens when you take this journey seriously. Real-life stories of radical growth. Let's start with something real, not theories, not data, people. Meet Maya. She was a burnt-out office assistant working long hours with no clear direction. One day, on a lunch break, she picked up a book on financial independence, and something clicked. She started reading 10 pages a day, listening to audiobooks during her commute, and taking online courses in the evenings. Fast forward 3 years. Maya now runs a freelance business, helps others learn money skills, and teaches workshops on mindset and career design. She didn't go back to school. She didn't wait for a promotion. She educated herself daily. Or take Kevin, who barely made it through high school. He always felt not smart enough, but one podcast, just one, changed the story in his head. He realized that intelligence isn't fixed. It's built. That revelation led him to start learning every morning, diving deep into subjects he once thought were beyond him. Today, Kevin works in tech and coaches others on how to rewire limiting beliefs through daily learning. These aren't exceptions. These are people who simply decided to grow, and that's the hidden truth. Radical life change doesn't require radical action. It just requires daily commitment. The compounding effect of daily improvement. You've probably heard of compound interest. A small amount of money invested consistently grows into something massive over time, not because of the size of the input, but because of the power of time and consistency. Learning works the same way. Let's say you read just 20 pages a day. That's 30+ books a year. Let's say you spend 30 minutes a day listening to a podcast or audiobook while walking or driving. That's 182 hours a year. It adds up fast. And it's not just the content you absorb. It's what that process builds inside you. Confidence in your ability to figure things out. Clarity in your decision-making. Creativity in your problem-solving. Calmness in the face of chaos. Learning isn't just input. It's integration, and the more you grow, the more opportunities seem to show up. It's not magic, It's perception. You begin to see patterns others miss. You hear ideas others ignore. You take actions others are too hesitant to try. That's the compound effect of personal growth, building a life of freedom, meaning, and leadership. So, where does this all lead? What's the point of all this reading, listening, reflecting, and growing? The answer is simple: freedom. Learning is the path to personal freedom. Financial freedom, because you understand how to manage money and create value. Time freedom, because you no longer trade hours for meaning. You design your life around priorities. Emotional freedom, because you can regulate your thoughts and reactions. Intellectual freedom, because you aren't limited by what others told you was possible. And from that freedom, something deeper emerges: meaning. When you grow, you start wanting to help others grow. You start to lead, not with titles, but with character. You become someone others look to not just for answers, but for examples. Because here's the final truth: the world doesn't just need more smart people. It needs more self-educated leaders, people who think critically, act courageously, and serve generously. And it all starts with a book, a podcast, a decision to learn. Today. Final reflection: the future. Let's imagine your life 5 years from now. You've read 150 plus books. You've listened to 1,000 plus hours of learning. You've taken notes, reflected, applied, failed, tried again, and grown. How different would your confidence be? How different would your career look? How different would your relationships, energy, and opportunities feel? This isn't a fantasy, it's a fact. If you keep learning, learning isn't just a path to success. It's the foundation of an extraordinary life. Radical transformation is built on quiet, consistent choices. Choose to grow, choose to rise, choose to become the person your future is waiting for. Final thoughts and key takeaways. Recap, next steps, and the mission that drives it all. Audiobook title: Educate yourself every day and stay ahead of 99%. People, let's take a breath. You've made it to the final chapter of this journey, a journey that's not about reading a book or checking off a goal, but about changing your mindset forever. You didn't just listen to these chapters. You invested in yourself. That matters more than you know. Before we part ways, let's reflect on what you've learned, talk about what comes next, and end with a message you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. A quick recap of the core principles. Here's what this audiobook has been all about. 1. Self-education is your superpower in a world that moves fast. Those who learn daily will always stay ahead, not because they know everything, but because they're always improving. 2. Small daily learning. Massive life change, a few pages, one podcast, a deep question. That's how transformation happens, not in one leap, but in consistent, daily action. 3. You are the architect of your growth. You don't need a degree, permission, or the perfect plan. You need curiosity, commitment, and a belief that your future is built by what you do today. What comes next? Your next 5 steps. Let's talk about where you go from here. If you want to stay ahead of 99% of people, these 5 steps will make sure your learning habit sticks for life. Choose your next theme, pick one learning focus for the next 30 days. Just one. Examples: emotional intelligence, marketing, sleep, money habits. Build a micro-learning ritual. Commit to 15 to 30 minutes per day. Morning, lunch break, commute, night, whatever fits. Make it a ritual, not a task. Track your learning wins. Use a journal, app, or simple calendar to track your learning. Write down one idea you learned each day. This builds momentum. Teach what you learn. Start sharing what you're learning with a friend, blog, or social post. Teaching multiplies your growth and deepens retention. Review, reflect, recommit every 30 days. Review what you've learned. Reflect on what worked. Then recommit with a fresh plan. Learning is a loop, not a line. Remember why you started Let's go back to the beginning for a moment. You picked up this audiobook because something inside you whispered, I want more. More clarity, more growth, more control over your future. That whisper is your inner guide, and it's never wrong. There's a reason most people stay stuck. They never take ownership of their mind. They let school end at graduation. They stop asking questions. They live on autopilot. But you've chosen a different path. You've chosen awareness. You've chosen self-leadership. You've chosen growth, and that makes all the difference. Final words of motivation. You are the 1%. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to learn everything. You just need to keep showing up every day with humility, hunger, and heart. This is the secret of the 1%. Not talent, not luck, not shortcuts. Just quiet, relentless, curious learning. One day they'll ask you, how did you do it? How did you stay so sharp? How did you build the life you have? And you'll smile because you'll know you educated yourself. Every single day, a personal note from the author. Wherever you are, walking, working, sitting in traffic, lying in bed, I want you to remember something. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not limited by what you didn't learn before. The moment you choose to grow, the moment you choose to listen, the moment you choose to think differently, that's the moment everything begins to change. This audiobook was just the beginning. Now your journey continues with a book, a podcast, a journal, or a conversation. Your education is yours now. No one can take it away. No one can stop you from becoming the person you were meant to be. And I'll say it one last time, educate yourself every day, and you will stay ahead of 99% of people. Thank you for listening. Now, go change your life.